friends, hope you are doing fine. So in this session, we'll discuss about capacitors in DC circuits, capacitors in AC circuits, and the time constant of a capacitor. So these are the capacitors, and we'll talk about how they function in a circuit environment, and what are the functionalities of a capacitor, and how time constant varies for a capacitor. It would be very interesting. So let's get started. So if you see in the diagram, you see two types of capacitor: electrolytic capacitor and ceramic capacitor. These are the most widely used capacitors in the market. And then you have SMD type of capacitors, which are used in mobiles and computers, and they are so small, they do not have polarity. If you see the diagram clearly, you will find that the capacitor is having two plates. Two plates are isolated from each other, and there is a dielectric in between. These plates are not connected, and thus in the symbol also you can see the two plates are parallel plates not connected. This is a general setup of a capacitor. Now we move ahead. In this diagram we see that there are two plates A and B, and A and B are having electrons in them. When a battery is connected, the electrons start flowing from plate A to plate B, and they get accumulated on plate B. So at time t, when time has passed, the voltage across the battery is equivalent to the voltage across the capacitor, and you can see the diagram there. It gives a clear picture on what is the status at time t. Also, when a capacitor is not connected to any load, still it gets discharges because there is a leak resistance always present in the capacitor. It is not an ideal capacitor. A capacitor stores energy in the form of electric field that is established by the opposite charges of a plate. A capacitor thus obeys the Coulomb's law. The Coulomb law says that force between two plates is directly proportional to the multiplication of charges, inversely proportional to square distance. And also we have the capacitor equation, which is directly proportional to the area of the plates and inversely proportional to the distance between them. So if area increases, capacitance increases. If distance between plates increases, the capacitance decreases. I have spoken about this diagram. In this diagram you see, once the capacitor is fully charged, the voltage across the capacitor is equivalent to the voltage across the battery. You can see in the diagram. So I have spoken about this diagram earlier also. So when a capacitor is discharging, it discharges completely, and it comes to the state from where it had started. So as of now, the voltage becomes 0 volt. So if you see in the diagram, when the capacitors are connected in series, the total capacitance is less than the smallest capacitance value. This happens because the effective plate separation increases. If you see the plates of C1 and Cn, you see that there is a difference between the plates. Also, if you see, capacitors in series produce a total capacitance that is less than the smallest value of capacitance. You can pause and see this diagram clearly. In a DC circuit, current stops flowing when the smallest cap is charged. Also, the smallest cap holds the largest voltage, and vice versa. The smallest cap charges first, halting all the current flow in series. So in this diagram, try to solve a numerical where a 25 volt voltage is applied across the capacitor, which is mentioned there. So you will see that capacitor 1 would be having 15 volts across it, capacitor 2 would be having 3.19 volts, and capacitor 3 would be having close to 6.82 volts. The summation of this is 25 volts. So you see that capacitor 1 is holding the maximum voltage, it is 15 volt. We will also see this in the practical. From the concept side, the total parallel capacitance is the sum of all capacitors in parallel. This is because the effective plate area increases. If you see clearly, the effective plate area increases across in parallel connection. Also, kindly note that the current doesn't stop until all capacitors are charged and both the capacitor carry the same charge. Also, you see the capacitance value in parallel is always greater than the highest capacitance value. So in this case, you see the highest capacitance value is 330 picofarad, but the series capacitance value is 560 picofarad. So in this circuit, you see that the current is rate of change of charge with time. So after a specific time, both capacitors Q1 and Q2 in parallel would carry the same charge. So I have connected three capacitors in series. So this is a 47 microfarad capacitor, this is a 1000 microfarad capacitor, and this is also my 1000 microfarad capacitor. This is bigger because this is of 50 volt and this is of 16 volt. Now these are series connections. From this experiment I want to show you that if capacitors are connected in series, the voltage held by the smallest capacitor is the highest amongst the three. So we will start the experiment and I'll open the DC voltage and then I'll let you know. So this is a 47 microfarad capacitor. Now we will see I have turned on the DC voltage of 12.36 volt. What is the voltage held by the 47 microfarad capacitor? Okay. So you see that 11.02 volts is held by the 47 microfarad capacitor. This is the smallest capacitor and see this is holding the highest voltage. Now we go to the 16 volt 1000 microfarad capacitor, which is third in series. See the voltage has come down 0.637 volts, and the bigger capacitor of 50 volt, the voltage is 0.713. So this proves that whenever we have capacitor connected in series, the lowest value capacitor holds the highest. We have three capacitors: 47 microfarad capacitor, 1000 microfarad capacitor, and a 1000 microfarad capacitor connecting now in parallel. So you will see that when connection is in parallel, this would mean that the current which is coming in will not stop till all the capacitors are charged, and all the capacitors will be charged at the same voltage, okay, in parallel. So this capacitor, this and this would be at same voltage, and we'll check the capacitance value. So for the first one, you are seeing 12.35 volts, so smaller one. Then go to the next one, 12.36 volts, same thing, and you'll go to the next one, 12.36 volt. So all three capacitors are having the same voltage across them when they are in parallel. So friends, in this session we have covered the basics of a capacitor, how the capacitor are connected in series and parallel. Now in the next video we'll talk about the RC circuit, time constant of the capacitor. Okay, and going forward in the next session we will have how a capacitor functions in an AC environment and how equations are managed, what is the impedance of a capacitor. So see you in next session.